Hi, welcome to Paul's Tackle Reviews. My name's Paul Cresswell. The normal purpose of this channel is for me to give you reviews of tackle that's been out on the bank, tried and tested by an unbiased, unsponsored angler, and that's me. Today it's a little bit different, and you might find today's video interesting, and then you might just think I need to get a bit more of a life. I do have a lot of time on my hands at home, which is why I started the channel. I'm a carer for my wife, and I do own a set of very accurate digital scales that measure 1/1000th of a gram. So I'm sat there thinking, what can I do? Because I'm getting through all my tackle in the reviews on the videos. And so I started weighing a few things, and I thought, I know, I'll do a video and I'll put some information up. It might make me look a bit sad, but hopefully there'll be something in here that you find interesting and gets you thinking a bit more about your fishing. So we're going to have lots of information displayed on the right here. So the first one I wanted to do was weigh shot, and in particular stotz. Now I've used stotz since they came out. I think they are absolutely fantastic. I do use shot occasionally, but I really don't like moving shot online. If you're doing a rig with shot, that's it, that's the way it's going to be, whereas I like more flexibility with shot, with stotz, but I do appreciate that they move, although you can give them a bit of a pinch to keep them where they are. So if you go on the internet, there's lots of tables of stotz. So I've taken various quantities and I've weighed them and taken averages, and I've come up with this table here that shows the weight of the stotz, and I think it's quite useful to see the difference between 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s and 12s. There was hardly any difference between an 11 and 12, but it can also help you when you're shotting pole floats up. Now, of course, that assumes that when you buy a float and it says 0.4 grams, it takes 0.4 grams, but I think it's useful to know what those weights are, and I can then compute it when I'm setting up my rigs. I will say about the stotz, when I weighed them and I weighed groups, there was hardly any variation. They were all very uniform in weight, 1/1000th of a gram, odd difference here and there. I only use shot in sizes 8, 9 and 10, and I use the Guru shot. Now Guru claim that these are 0.6, 0.5, 0.4 gram, and I did the same process for those. So I'll put the chart up there. Now there are differences to the stated weights that were on the tubs. Not a problem, but I think these are nice and accurate of what you've got. What I will say is, I don't know if shot's more difficult to make than stotz in manufacturing, but there was a little bit more variation between individual shots of the same size when I was weighing them. Something else I then thought about was the weight of hooks, and especially as we're going into winter, it can make a big difference. You're looking for a nice slow fall maybe, and you don't want a great big piece of metal on the end affecting that. You want to get your presentation as good as you can. I only use Preston hooks now. I was a Drennan man for about 9 years, but when the new range of Prestons came out, I've tried them out. They are Teflon coated. If you're not using Teflon coated hooks, I think you're missing out on something. I'm not just talking Prestons. Matrix do them, Guru do them, but I do think that they last longer, they're sharper, and they keep their point for longer as well. So I'm going to put the chart up now of the different hooks. So I don't have every size of every hooks, but I would say that 80% of my fishing's done with a size 16, so I've tried to go down that using the list. And I use the commercial range, the barbless range, and I've also got the natural venue range, the barbed range, that I've been using on the canal this year as well. So it did make me think this, and I was out last week trying to catch F1s, and I was using an 012 hookland, and I can kind of use a GPM, which I probably would do in summer, but in winter I'm going to an SFL, and it's plenty strong enough for carp, plenty strong enough for 012 line, and it is half the weight of the GPM, and I did feel it was better on the day. The XSH is the heaviest hook that I use on the pole. Some are 020 hook lengths or even more than that. You can see the weight there, but it's clear that the KKMB is the heaviest hook that I will ordinarily use. It's a feeder hook. It doesn't matter probably quite so much because most of the time it's on the bottom and the fish are picking it up as they pick up your bait, maybe in a method feeder or whatever, but it's a heavy hook. And maybe in winter when you're fishing maybe the bomb or whatever, you might want to think about a lighter hook. The N40 is the same weight as the SFL, so they're similar kind of strength hooks. The N40 I will use for hemp, and the N30 is similar weight to a GPM, and that tends to be on the canal, my feeder, far side, maybe fishing with braid, and it's a good strength hook for fishing the feeder. I also use the N10, but I just buy them pre-tied, so I couldn't weigh them, but they're very small hooks, and I would expect them to be very light hooks as well. So probably now information that you're going to read and you're going to think, that's interesting, I didn't know that, did I need to know that? Who knows really. So I've been weighing some pellets to see how many we get in a bag, and quite often people say, oh, the fish, is it fair when you go fishing you catch a few and whatever? And I always say the fish get a really good deal because of the amount of bait that we put in, and we put in thousands of bits of bait and we might catch 20 fish, so I think they're doing all right out of it. And I'm going to put the table up now, and you can see how many pellets are in each different size bag. So 2 4s and 6s and 8s tend to come in a 900 gram bag. I use the Ringers R2 and the R8s, and I tend to, I don't know why, I buy Prestons for the 4s and 6s, the Sonia baits for the 4s and 6s. Obviously different brands will weigh slightly different, so these figures are all approximate what you're getting in a bag. I did weigh a good quantity so I could extrapolate it and give you a fairly accurate figure, but I think it's quite surprising. One thing I have been trying of late is the 1mm Sonia Baits pellets, and I think they're a really good addition to fishing with micros. Brilliant for skimmers on the pole, and I've had some really good days with them. But I did look and I thought there are 1,000 of these, so I did the weight again, and yeah, if you buy a kilogram half bag, you're buying about 500,000, which is a staggering figure. Lastly, I've been using Maggots for 40 years. When I started, when I was 12 or 13, that's all we ever used to use, maybe a little bit of bread, but realistically it was always Maggots. And I didn't know how many you get in half a pint or a pint. I did hear a story about a tackle who took on a youngster for the summer, and they said they needed to keep counting the maggots to ensure the quality was there. So every week they used to make him count the maggots, which sounds pretty cruel. I don't know if it's true. He might have only done it once, but it's a good story. So here are the figures, and there's quite a lot. It was probably more than I was thinking. I don't know what the figure was. So if you're feeding 3 pints of maggots, you're feeding thousands of maggots over there. Again, it depends what size maggots you get. Sometimes they're bigger than others. Same with pinkies. I get really good bait from Lobby's Tackle in Stonehouse. They're a regular kind of size bait, very samey, get the same kind of size every time, and I like the bait. So I've done that, but it gives you some rough ideas how much we're feeding. That's it for today. A short video today. If there's anything you think, well, I wonder what that weighs, and I've thought about pole pots that go on the end, but then I'm thinking, how sad can I be? I've also thought about weighing elastic, and maybe when I change some elastics, I've got an old top kit with some black hydro, I can maybe compare it to the Preston stuff, but we all know roughly what the answer is going to be there. If you've enjoyed the video and you've got this far, thanks very much. If you want to give it a thumbs up and a like, that's great. If you want to subscribe, there are well over 30 videos on my channel now. Lots of views, lots of really good comments on there. I'm still doing more videos, so if you subscribe, you'll get automatically notified of what's coming up next. It's coming up to a year since I started this, and it was something to fill my time in, especially as we went into lockdown and I had no local fishing. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks to everybody that's watched it. I can't believe how many views of videos that have taken place. We're nigh on 80,000 times my videos have been viewed, and getting up towards 900 subscribers. So thanks to everybody. Until next time, tight lines.